All over the world, amphibians are experiencing a crisis like they've never seen before. 40% of the world's amphibians are in decline. And it's a chytrid fungus that's causing mass die-offs of amphibians. The chytrid fungus is a microscopic aquatic fungus that swims through the water to infect the skin of the host. And the skin of an amphibian is really different than our skin. For example, they can actually breathe right through their skin. So you can have frogs that have lungs, but they can go underwater and they can actually get oxygen out of the water by absorbing it right through their skin. So it's a very active organ. When they get infected with the fungus, they get what's called hyperkeratosis. Hyperkeratosis means a thickening of the skin. And the skin can be 40 times thicker than it normally is. And so eventually leads to mortality. So we want to make sure that any work that we do with these species in terms of bringing them back, we have to consider the disease aspect as well. So we don't want to bring in new disease, but we also know that it's here. This pathogen is already here, so we want to ensure that the populations that we reseed back into this lake, once it gets restored, are going to be able to survive this pathogen. And so the red-legged frog is, we think, a really good candidate for reintroduction at Mountain Lake because the red-legged frog, at least as adults, they're able to survive with the fungal infection. They can survive really well. And so what we're trying to do is figure out, well, how do they do it? One of the keys that we think is really important to understand with this fungus, a new idea really, is the skin microbiome. So we're looking at the microbes that live on the skin of amphibians, just like we have on our skin and in our GI tracts. We're looking at species called symbionts, or beneficial species that live near other species that could be protecting the frogs from the fungus. In this case, it's bacteria. So we've actually been able to culture some species of bacteria that produce antifungals that prevent the animals from getting really high levels of infection of this fungus. And so we're thinking that may be a tool that we can use to help prevent extinction in some of these really vulnerable species of amphibians. So Mountain Lake is a really important laboratory for understanding the interactions between this fungus and these hosts, amphibians. What happens as we put them back into the environment? What's going to happen to these populations? No one's done this experiment before, and we're likely going to learn some really important information from it.